What's up, everyone? It's Gregtastic here, and today I just want to talk to you guys about a few things. A lot of times I want to make videos, but I'm either not like really motivated to do a full-on video, or what I want to talk about is not necessarily something that warrants a full video. So I thought I would start something new, and I'm gonna title these videos, and they're gonna have their own playlist called Gregtastic's Daily Thoughts, and basically when I think of like two or three things that I want to talk about that's going on either like with gaming or computing or just everyday life that I want to talk about, I'll just make a video and kind of talk about everything all in one video and get it all out at one time. These videos are not going to be super long. If they were, they would warrant their own individual videos. It's just certain things that are either happening or I've seen in the news that I want to give my opinion on. So the first thing we're going to start with is I made a video the other day questioning whether if my 1660 Super was real or fake or whatnot. One of my friends, the Incendiary, by the way, his channel is linked in the description of my channel, and I'll link him in the video too because he's one of my best friends. He doesn't upload that much, but I'm trying to get him to change that. But he said, open your Google Translate app and try and translate the sticker into another language. And he recommended that it was Korean. So I opened my Google Translate app. I set it from Korean to English. And basically, that was a warranty sticker in Korean. It basically said that the GPU had a 3-year warranty and could be extended another 2 years by going to their Korean website and registering the GPU. I'm going to hope that I could go to their American website and get that extra 2 years on my warranty through the same method of registering it, but we'll see. And if that doesn't happen, I might have to contact the seller. The only thing is, if I want to make sure I have a legit 3-year warranty, and if I do, I should be okay because I definitely don't plan on keeping that GPU for 3 years. It's kind of like close to 3 years old already, if not 3 years old. And the only thing that's stopping me from having a 30 series card is the fact that they're either unavailable or at double or triple the price that they retail for. Now that that's solved, hopefully, minus the fact that I have to explore this warranty situation and make sure my warranty is valid in the United States and just not Korea, let's move on to the next topic. And the next topic is all the stuff that's going on with Pokemon Go, which I find, I don't want to say hilarious. I'm just like, I don't get either side of it. I stopped playing Pokemon Go a while ago. So, but I follow it. I know what's going on with it. Basically, when the pandemic started, they made it so it was easier to play from home. So basically, you didn't need to be so close to the Pokestops to trigger them. You just different gameplay tweaks. If you're into Pokemon Go, then you know what they are. If you're not, it just basically made a game that's meant to be played while out and about and walking around be easier played sitting in your house and doing nothing. So now that the pandemic is over, I'm sorry. Oh, now that it's people think it's over, I don't know. Now that it's not as bad as it used to be, or we're dealing with it better or adjusting to it better. Niantic, I think that's how you pronounce their name, the developers of Pokemon Go, are starting to roll back some of the features that they gave people to use to make their lives easier during the pandemic. So now you can't sit at home and play anymore. You got to go back out into the world and actually go to those poke stops and be around people, and that has a lot of fans of the game upset because they feel like the pandemic's not over, which obviously it's not. I mean, we're not gonna get into it, but life is not back to normal. That's all I'm gonna say. So I first of all, say I'm not gonna say who cares. I'm gonna say this is why you have an Android phone and you spoof your GPS and don't worry about anything, which is what people were doing before the pandemic, which is actually okay. So I don't understand either side because on the side of the developers, I feel like, are you really losing that much money by people being able to play the game at home? I would just avoid the PR hit and just say, okay, yeah, the pandemic's not over. We're going to roll everything back to how it was during the pandemic and have fun. You're still going to make money on the game. People are still going to play it. Like, there will be an appropriate time for you to change everything back to how the game was pre-pandemic. Now, on the other hand, the player's point of view, don't get me wrong, there's probably a lot of people who legitimately don't want to leave the house and don't want to be around people for safety reasons. But the fact that I said what I said a couple of seconds ago, the fact that before the pandemic, people were using their Android devices or any other device that allowed them to do it to spoof the GPS and allow them to be in different places to catch certain Pokemon or to not have to actually be at a Pokestop shows you that there's a want from the player base for this game to not be based on traveling and being in a certain location and being outside of the house, okay? So you can't sit here and say 100% of the people are complaining because they're worried about social distancing. A lot of people, I'm sure, are just worried about the game being harder to play with the pre-pandemic rules or gameplay or whatever you want to call it. So, and even if you are worried about the social distancing, you could still wear a mask. Like, I don't think, you know, going to a Pokestop to spin it or being in a raid or whatever is having you as close to people as like being in line at a supermarket is. You know, I've done limited stuff like going to Pokestops or going to raids, and like I would see a few people around me that I could tell were playing the game, but none of them were ever close to me or made me worried about social distancing. So me, who cares? Like, the game to me is trash anyway. Like, it was fun for a minute, but it didn't have staying power with me. But I just feel like as a developer, just give in. There will, like I said, there will be an appropriate time where you could implement the rules back and nobody will have anything to say about it. Right now is not what I consider an appropriate time. Like, you could do it if you want. It's your game, and so people are threatening to boycott it. Come on. It's not that serious, but I lean towards the player side just because I feel like the developers are being greedy. Like, you could, like I said, there's an appropriate time where you could implement it back and nobody's going to be able to say anything about safety issues. But also, I do know for a fact that all the players complaining about this are not complaining only because of safety issues. They're mad because they have to actually walk around and go places, which, don't play the game. It's an augmented reality game based on, like, first of all, the company to me is shady to begin with, but I'm not even going to get into all of that. Like, they're just trying to get you to give them data about maps so they could sell it to Google. Like, all right, let's move on. The last thing that I want to talk about is the SSD issue with the PS5, which is where like people are confused or upset about the requirements for the SSD replacements, like, or not replacements, upgrades in the PS5. Like, I thought this was a console. Do you remember like 20 years ago when consoles were just like you take a cartridge and you shove it in a system and push the start button and it plays? Now it's like becoming more and more like a computer, and computers to me are superior for gaming. No, like, you have more customization with a computer. You have more control over what you want your budget to be. You have more power like with the computer. So, but the argument against computers was always, oh, the console just works. And then they started putting hard drives in the consoles. And then they started updating the operating system of the consoles. And then they started having day one updates for games on the consoles. And now it's like you are having not system requirements, but spec requirements for SSDs that you put in the PS5, and you might as well just get a console. Like, at least what I like about the console is like you just put your stuff together and you could adjust your graphics and everything, and like you have a good idea of what your computer should and shouldn't be able to do. And whether you have a crappy potato computer or you have a $3,000 high-tech computer, you could all still run the same games. You'll just have different uh output graphic fidelity based on how much money you want to put into the computer. But you could still all play the same games for the most part. So I don't know. And then it's like Sony keeps like talking about like this magic sauce they have with the SSDs, and I'm not buying it. Like, yeah, the games are loading faster on the PS5. What did you expect? You're going from a mechanical hard drive on previous consoles to flash storage on the newer consoles. Yes, they're going to load faster. It's not because Sony. I'm not saying Sony doesn't put good technology into their console, but like they didn't invent SSDs. They're not the only people who could load games fast. Like it's marketing to me. Like, oh, we have this SSD magic sauce, and that's why our games load so fast, and that's why we're gonna be next gen. Like, oh, it's just a bigger read speed. Like, it's not reinventing the wheel per se. So I don't know. Like, to me, the other thing is like the consoles have a terabyte of storage. Like, you want 4K graphics with a terabyte of storage. Like, that's not. How long did you expect that to last or be viable? Like, 3 or 4 AAA games is gonna take up your whole storage space. So kind of glad that I haven't bought a 1X or a PS5, because I feel like 2 to 5 years down the road, they're going to be releasing them with like 2 terabyte SSDs, 4 or 5 terabyte SSD. That's when I'll buy one. Give me a 4 terabyte SSD, Xbox One X, and I am on board. But I feel like we're in a weird pricing area with SSDs right now. A, because they're newer, and B, because like we just got Generation 4 or PCIe 4, whatever, SSDs. And I feel like there was like this stage with hard drives where like it was like $1 a gigabyte for a hard drive, and to where it became dirt cheap, where you could get like a terabyte hard drive for like $40, two for like 50 or 60. I feel like we're in the middle with SSDs, where like they're getting cheaper and they're affordable for like the everyday person. But 5 years from now, it'll probably be a lot more cost effective, the amount of terabytes you get per dollar versus what it is now. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. If you guys have any thoughts on it, please comment down below. Let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.